One of the great treats of doing this blog about books, hitting the books, is I get to talk with fellow broadcasters, players, managers about the reading that they like to do. And Eric Nadel, the voice of the Texas Rangers, kind enough to sit down with us here and talk about it. I have no idea. He hasn't told me in advance, so I'm going to learn with you. The first question we always ask is, what's your favorite book?
My favorite book is The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. You know the book?
I do not know the book.
It was a novel written in about 2008. Garth Stein is a guy who was very much into auto racing, and the story is about an auto racer and his child custody case as told by his dog, Enzo, who was named after Enzo Ferrari.
The crux of the book, when you're finished reading it, is?
Well, it's a lot about a look at the human race from the dog's perspective. Enzo believes that if he lives a good life, he'll be reincarnated as a human being. The question is, what is a good life? And the book is very much about what's good, what is evil, and it also deals with the aging of the dog. You're told right at the beginning of the book that Enzo's going to die. Now, there's no suspense that some point in the book, probably at the end, you hope, since he's the narrator, Enzo's no longer going to be with us. So you have to deal with that. You deal with the aging, you deal with the mortality too.
Wow, that's what a setting to go through what if so many, obviously millions of books over the ages trying to figure out what is life. I've never heard of one coming from the dog side of this. Is it the entertainment part of it? I mean, how does that come across?
It's fantastic. It's funny. And, you know, we're always wondering what our dogs are thinking. So you're constantly in this book saying, I wonder, you know, my dog's named Kirby after Kirby Puckett. I wonder if Kirby's thinking that when I do this. It's, you know, it's tremendous. The book has been optioned to be a movie 3 different times. The movie hasn't been made. Originally, Patrick Dempsey bought the rights to the movie. As I understand it, it was passed on to Disney. Now it belongs to Fox, and it's supposed to start production sometime later this year, but I've heard that before. But it's one of these deals where you know the movie's not going to be as good as the book anyway.
Oh, that's great. What got you into reading? Where did it start? How long back?
Well, it started really when I was in grade school. I was in a program for, quote, gifted kids where, you know, we were reading books starting in first grade. And the book that had the most impact on me early was To Kill a Mockingbird, which I'm sure a lot of people have said to you. I think we read it in the 5th grade. And that book, more than anything else, got me hooked on reading novels.
Are we losing reading in the current generation, do you think?
I think we're losing the ability to read books and read elongated magazine pieces because of the focus on social media and sound bites and things like that. Clearly, we're losing the ability to read a newspaper, with newspapers going out of business and people choosing to get their news from 140 character bites on Twitter and that sort of thing. There's no question in my mind.
Do you do the Kindle thing, or do you like to have the book in your hand?
You know, I tried the Kindle thing, and it turned out for me it didn't really work. I like to have the book in my hand, even though it involves carrying a couple of books on each road trip. I try to stick with paperbacks so I don't have the extra weight in there. In the off season, when I'm not going anywhere, you know, I'll read hardcover books.
All right. Are you a library guy too?
No, Amazon's made it too easy to actually buy the books, and I actually like the idea of purchasing the book and supporting the author by doing that.
Eric, wonderful. I think Enzo's now going on my list because that's one I definitely got to read.
Enzo, everybody loves Enzo. You'll be buying caps that say Enzo.
Eric Nadel, Texas Rangers. God love you. Thanks for the help.
Thanks for doing this.